I love being a guest on your I love being a guest on your show. So my name again is Nma Emeh, and I am a body image confidence speaker and coach, passionate about empowering women and young girls to break the generational cycle of hating their body. Why is that important? Because according to research done by Ipsos, 9 out of 10 women are dissatisfied with their physical appearance. If that number isn't bad enough, it's worse. It's somewhat worse for our young girls. So girls between the age of 12 and 17, there are about 78% of them that express some sort of dissatisfaction with their physical appearance. And then it doesn't stop there. We have girls as young as 6 to 11 years old expressing the same dissatisfaction, and that number is about 54%. What does that say? It's a crisis where we have young girls growing up disliking their physical appearance either because of what they've been told by society or what has been passed down from generations to generation. And so what I'm doing is basically to empower these women and young girls to begin to see themselves the way God sees them, beautifully and wonderfully made from the inside out. And that's my mission, and I'm very passionate about doing it.
Oh, my
Yes.
word. I love what you say. That's your mission. You're proud to do it. You're glad to do it. But even more so, the impact is knowing that you're wonderfully and beautifully made by God.
Yes.
What
Mhm.
could be better than that? But I know, just give us a little bit of insight. Why did you decide to do this? I mean, that's something I know women struggle with. And of course, women are grown-up girls. What
Mhm.
made you decide to do this? Because I think it's something that's very necessary.
Well, the truth is, I had never heard of body image. My aha moment was during the pandemic when we saw a number of people losing their lives. And so I took some time to do some reflection on what I was doing at the time, which at the time I had spent most of my time in corporate America, worked in finance and operations for over 15 years. And while that was great, at the end of the day, I knew that if God called me home, what legacy would I be leaving behind?
Mhm.
And I knew that I always wanted to do something that made an impact for time and eternity. And so when the pandemic hit and we kept hearing of people losing their lives, I was like, okay, well, I want to leave something behind. And so I started to pray and ask God for direction. And in doing so, he revealed to me, and I say this because I really think it's true, that that purpose that God is calling you to usually has something to do with what has been a constant theme throughout your life.
Mhm.
And so in doing that reflection, I started to look at what has been a constant theme throughout my life. And it was my body, my physical appearance. I
Mhm.
was born, according to my mom, I was born over 10 pounds, really heavy. And I was that baby that the doctor told my mom, this one almost killed you, so this is it. I'm the
Mm.
youngest of seven. And then
Mm.
as I grew up, I look a little different from my siblings. And so I have sisters, about five sisters, and they're tall, motherless, slim on the slim side. I was more voluptuous and rounded. And so I always used to compare myself to my siblings, and society compared me to my siblings as well.
Mhm.
And over time, that began to shape the narrative that I was telling myself. And
Mhm.
then I get into the corporate scene, and it continued,
Mhm.
constantly being assessed more so from a physical appearance perspective as opposed to my capabilities and abilities. And so, in doing that deep reflection, I was like, well, I believe God wants me to do something with this. It's not by chance that this has been a constant theme. I don't consider myself to be the biggest in the world, the prettiest, the bustiest, whatever the case may be. But however, my body being a topic of discussion has led to me using it somehow in a way that I'm hoping will glorify him by empowering women and young girls to see him the way, to see themselves the way God sees them. So that's a roundabout way of how I got to where I'm doing, where what I'm doing today.
I love what you're doing, and basically, it is you took the negative and you made a positive, created a positive
Yes.
message from it that, hey, my body, your body is beautiful because there's a God who loves you and he created you the way he wants you to look. So accept it and be happy in it because you've only got one body. We can't change it, right?
You can't change it. Yeah. And God does not make any mistakes. That's one thing that
Exactly.
society sometimes wants us to believe.
Yeah.
Because when you go on social media and you see people with perfect body, perfect hair, you
Yeah.
start to think, okay, well, maybe God just made a mistake with me. Maybe I was supposed to have this other texture hair, but he gave me this. Or
Yes.
I was supposed to be this skin tone, but he gave me that skin tone. But no,
Yes.
God took his time to make each of us with our unique abilities and capabilities, and he makes no mistakes.
No mistakes, no mistakes at all. Well, I told you all that this was going to be short and sweet, and indeed it is short and sweet. But of course, I will not end this without letting Uma tell you where you can find her online, because I'm sure what you've heard has been impactful. And of course, I know that anytime I have her on as a guest, she always leaves the show with a positive message. So, what's your positive message today to leave the viewers with?
It's interesting you say that. I've been on multiple podcasts and this week, and what has been speaking to me for this week is reminding women that their voices matter
Mhm.
and that confidence isn't born in silence. It's only when we begin to speak up, amplify our voices, do we start to gain confidence in who we are and be able to go after those things that we've always wanted. So, if nothing else, just remember that confidence isn't born in silence. You need to speak up and ask for what you want, ask for what you deserve, ask for what you have earned, and you'll be surprised what the world will give back to you.
I love it. Confidence is not born in silence. Ask for what you want.
Yes.
And so, with that, I want to ask you to continue to join us every week on Chatting with the Experts, where I have dynamic women, 99% women, I have a few men, who share with you their expertise, whether it's about a service they do, a product they have, or as much told you, a message they have to share with the world that you can take away at the end and be better educated on something, inspired, or encouraged. And that's where I
Yes.
end this. Thank you, Uma. You
Thank
are
you.
the best.
Thank you. And you can find me at nmaemeh.com or on LinkedIn as well. Nma Emeh. Thank you.
Nmaemeh. All right.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Thank
So
you.
over and out, and thank you again for those who joined us. You can find me on Chatting with the Experts, where I speak with the best. Bye.